You are watching the DocTalk show.
Welcome back. We are discussing immunization, and we've gotten to learn that vaccines are the most cost-effective way of preventing vaccine-preventable diseases such as polio, measles, tetanus, or tuberculosis. So I wonder if a person is to receive these vaccines, how long would they last? How long would the protection last, Dr. Immaculate?
It varies from vaccine to vaccine. For example, the yellow fever vaccine, it's lifetime protection. Tetanus toxoid, if you've received your 5 good doses, it's lifetime protection. If you've received those 5 protection. And also
hepatitis B, for
hepatitis B as well.
If you receive your 3 full doses.
So for most vaccines,
yes,
it tends to be lifelong protection.
But for the others, you have to take into other considerations if other conditions are held constant. For example, the rotavirus vaccine, it prevents severe forms of diarrhea. It may not prevent all the forms. And these diseases have many types, like Fiona explained. HPV might have
which cause it.
Many HPV serotypes. There are over 200 serotypes of HPV, but we're targeting the 4 critical serotypes. So you may not prevent, but the others are really mild, and the body usually fights them. And even this vaccine can protect you against the other. There is cross protection. Okay. So what I'm saying, but that other factors held constant. A vaccine like BCG, it's meant to protect this child or this person against tuberculosis.
Yes.
But when my immunity goes down as an adult, this may not be applicable. Because tuberculosis thrives in an immunocompromised body. It's an opportunistic infection that really waits for when the body
can to go down and hit.
And it's in.
Okay, so you're explaining that some vaccines will give you life protection. Other vaccines will require routine
by and large,
vaccination.
vaccines don't work in isolation. They don't work in isolation. If you are saying get your child to get rotavirus, we still talk about safe water, hand hygiene. That is still should be maintained as the gold standard.
Okay.
Exclusive breastfeeding. All that is a full package.
Vaccines are just part of
part of a prevention measure.
Yes.
To prevent getting disease in the population.
Even oral polio is it's a disease that is picked from also poor sanitation.
That's true.
So you might immunize your child and they're playing around with the infected children.
Latrines and contaminated water.
So they're still.
So Dr. Fiona, are there any diseases that have been eradicated by vaccination?
Yes, and like you mentioned,
you keep encouraging vaccinate. We're not sure if some diseases really can be eradicated by
immunization. Yes, we have the history, and we are going towards also making more history. For example, smallpox. Smallpox, I'm sure Dr. Darius, before you were born, you have not even heard about
smallpox. We have not seen a case of smallpox.
Yes, so smallpox was eradicated using vaccination. At the moment, we have, in Uganda at least, we have eradicated what we call wild polio virus too. Okay. And we are going towards elimination of polio from the planet. We don't want it anymore. We are also headed towards elimination of maternal and newborn
neonatal
tetanus, like Dr. Immaculate mentioned. We are also going towards elimination of cervical cancer using HPV vaccination and other interventions like she mentioned. They don't go in isolation, screening and early treatment and all that. So we know that vaccines actually do work.
And on top of that, it has additional benefits like saving costs.
Oh, yes.
And it is, as you say, it is quite effective. Though some vaccines require repeated booster doses, or others, just one vaccine is good enough. Dr. Immaculate, in your experience as a vaccinologist, are there side effects that people who receive vaccines experience? Some side effects of these vaccines, are they there?
Serious events are very rare.
They're very rare.
And if you really find one, it's not due to the vaccine, it's usually due to the program and the health system issues where we deliver the vaccines from. Okay? They are due to health system issues, not by and large the vaccine. Vaccines are safe when they come. It is the handlers and the handling that has issues.
So the problem may go wrong with the handling process.
Rarely have we documented serious adverse events.
Okay. Yes, so it increases people's confidence that the vaccines are very safe health interventions to prevent diseases.
Sure.
Right.
So we would want really parents to report all those concerns to the nearby health facility so that we can get that information and manage the events well and assess causality for those particular events.
So they should be reporting every side effect?
Any
if they
parental
think,
concern.
yes, the parental concerns, like Dr. Immaculate said, because they end up being rumors. They end up being rumors, so and so's child, but they were not reported. If they were reported to a health facility that this happened to a child, and like she said, we shall assess the cause. Was it really the immunization, that vaccine that they received that day, that vaccination session, or is it another cause? Sometimes you find the child got hysteria and got a convulsion because they had pneumonia, for example, a fully blown disease. But because the disease came after they had been vaccinated, they get vaccinated for polio, for example, but then they get pneumonia before they get vaccinated. And then the pneumonia causes high fever and convulsions. But because they were recently vaccinated, and it becomes just coincidental.
So there will be some misconception that the vaccine causes the disease. But by and large, vaccines are very, very safe. Drugs and the side effects are often very minor and not to cause alarm.
Now you have to look at the benefits vis-a-vis the risk of getting a minor, of getting a fever, of getting pain. What is the benefit?
Versus getting the full-blown disease.
So I wonder, are there people or categories of people who should not receive vaccines?
Children who are hospitalized, children who are quite sick, we do not vaccinate them. But at discharge, when we hope that the child has now gotten fine, we immunize them.
Okay.
Children who have, when I say very sick, I'm talking, if a child has AIDS from HIV, HIV positive children are children like any other children, they are vaccinated. The problem is if they have AIDS, they have a severe sickness.
They have advanced disease.
Yes, or they have, you know, like when you have diabetes and then you have a crisis, or you have a severe infection that has come when you already have a disease. Because it's HIV, a child with HIV is a child like any other. They receive all the vaccinations.
So HIV is not a contraindication.
It's not because people say my child is HIV positive. No, your child needs to be prevented from the other diseases that will kill them before HIV kills them.
So the only exception is if it's a very severe illness, or for some reason the child's or the person's immunity will be very reduced.
Yes. Yeah, also if there is previous documented reaction to a previous vaccine, the health worker can
should not receive the
if
vaccine.
the child witnessed the reaction for the previous dose, you do not repeat to manifest the same symptoms.
Okay. Yeah. So talking about side effects, let's assume a child got a reaction, a small reaction, received an injection and then started getting pain. The place turned red. The mother is saying the child has high temperature. Dr. Immaculate, how would you advise the parent to manage such a situation?
The first line is really to prepare these parents before the sessions. That would have been the ideal. What vaccine they are going to get, what disease is being targeted, and the routes of administration, and the anticipated risks, which are the side effects, and how to manage them.
So that they are prepared way before it
So for the route of administration, which is usually pain, swelling, and redness, we just apply a cold, damp cloth on the site, and that will leave the baby. But for the fevers, of course, or high temperature, it's usually exposing the baby, giving a warm bath, or wiping the baby with a warm cloth, not cold. Because cold cloth will induce rigors and generate more heat in the child.
So using a lukewarm sponges?
Like a towel, you put it in lukewarm water, not cold water, because most parents put it in cold water so that they reduce the temperature. But
it should be lukewarm. And when you talk of exposing the child, what do you mean by that?
You know, these mothers tend to come to sessions, the baby in an overall, then there's a suka, then there's a shawl, or
the baby's in deep winter
socks, and they had a small hat and mittens.
At temperatures of 30.
So they should reduce all those
when
clothes around the baby.
The temperature is high, idea you should remove the socks, you should remove the hat, you should remove the shawl and the sheets, and just put on light. maybe a pamper and a vest, a light cloth, and then give it after a warm bath to allow the baby to lose that excessive heat.
Okay.
If the temperature persists, you should go for assessment, maybe a prescription, and get paracetamol to manage the high temperature.
Okay.
Some babies could get diarrhea as a minor side effect, and this, all they need to do, the mother just needs to breastfeed the child to increase the hydration. And
It is not a severe diarrhea.
no, not
Okay.
at all. So just increase breastfeeding, the number of times you breastfeed, and the baby should be fine.
And as you said earlier, they should report the side effects to the nearest health center.
Yes.
You are watching the DocTalk Show.